Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Salute to Druuill Nation, the Galactic family, and the GCVs. Let's get right into it. Look, Gangstalkers are going to let you know they're watching you, even when you aren't paying attention, because that's when they get petty. All right. They're going to let you know they're watching, even when you aren't paying attention, because that's when they get petty. The first encounter of their pettiness is just going to be something that might make you raise your eyebrow or just laugh or say, oh, okay, whatever. You may whatever it the first time, and they expect you to do that. But you should always, just a side note, always laugh, all right, because you don't want to allow these types of things to make you upset. So when you see these things, program yourself to laugh. It's painful. It's difficult to endure these kinds of things. So you want to be able to find humor in it, and you want to be able to laugh at these people because they really are clowns. Anybody that takes the time to let someone know that they're being watched when this person isn't even worried about you or concerned about you is a clown. That person is taking time out of their day, probably getting paid for it. All right. But even though they're getting paid for it, they're clowns and they're selling their soul. And at the end of the day, they're whatever earthly thing that they got, at the end of the day, they're setting themselves up for something extremely hot. All right, they're going to suffer eternal damnation for the terror that they are trying to cause psychologically for God's chosen people. All right, they are going to suffer it big time for the psychological warfare that they have waged on the mind of the chosen ones. All right, they're going to suffer terribly because of that. All right, so people are going to try to get you to pay attention to them no matter what. When you get past the point of being able to ignore them, when you get past the point of it doesn't matter if you see them anymore, that's when they're going to get petty. When they could drive around you, when they could pass you by, those things still are, annoying sometimes, but it's like, okay, I done got over that. How many times can you drive past somebody the same time before this person just it just overrides it in their mind, and they're just like, you know what? I was frustrated by this for a while. You got it. You can drive down the street all you want. I don't have to try to stop you. I don't care. I don't care if you keep driving down this street, whatever. You can keep following me, whatever. All right, as long as nothing happens to me, because they can't do anything to you anyway because of God. So it's like they could just, whatever they're going to do, if they get petty, that's fine. I'm not going to allow it to stress me out. All right, and you shouldn't either. All right, that's why I said you should laugh. But when you are not even paying attention to these people, when you get to the point to where it doesn't even bother you anymore, they're going to try to do it in other ways. All right, they're going to do new things. They're going to try to become creative, because these people, they think they're smart, but they're really foolish and stupid. All right, they're really dumb. So even if they're getting paid for it, they're selling their soul, and that's dumb, because they rather get things from the devil, and they rather get things demonically than rather get things from God. All right, somebody could throw them a couple thousand, somebody could throw them 4,000, 3,000, however many thousand. All right, this Jackson, that Jackson. What did Tupac say? He said, whatever Jackson. All right, they could give them however many Jacksons. All right, it they're going to suffer a terrible fate for what they tried to do to your mind. And there's nothing that they're going to be able to do to get around that. Even the people that just think it's good, clean fun to try to harass a person's mind, they're not getting paid for it. They're just ganging up against you out of jealousy. Those people are still going to suffer a similar fate, and they're, whatever they tried to dish out to you, they're going to get that back, and it's not going to result in anything good for them. You're not supposed to touch not my anointed ones, or do my prophets no harm. You're not supposed to do the prophets no harm. That even means psychological warfare. that even means mental. Oh, we're not doing anything to them physically, but yo, they're not doing anything physically, but they will attack the hell out of your mind. All right, they will try to attack your mind to no avail. And I mean, you talk about empathy. It's just like people wonders like, oh, why you say evil? Why you say demon? It's like, man, there's no like a demon's not even a word. Like the stuff they do is so evil. There's really no word for it. They're lucky we call them devils or demons. There's no words for the things that these folks are doing, and they are trying to do these things to your mind just to get you to react in a certain way, so that way they could point you out to be a bad person. They're jealous of the light in you, and they don't like the fact that you believe in God. They don't want you to be somebody around them that believes in God. They want you to be a person that's cursing, that's angry, that's frustrated, that's throwing things, that's mad. They don't want you to be walking in your faith. They want you to be walking in a negative mindset. They want you to be walking in hell, not in heaven, not with faith. All right. Gangstalkers, they're watching you even when you aren't paying attention to them, and they will do the most. All right, they're going to do the most when you stop paying attention to their street theater, to their tactics, to the games that they play. All right, when they do theater and you're walking someplace and they come at you full speed trying to intimidate you, or when they block your way, or whatever weird things these people try to do. They see you going somewhere and they calculate where you're going because they've been watching you for the past few days, and now they know where to walk in front of you because they know where you're going. And they do these things to get you to focus on them because you're more worried about yourself. These are people who are focused on you because they're concerned about you, they're obsessed with you, they're fascinated with you, and they're more worried about you than you are about them. So they have to let you know that they're there, and this is how they do it. And it's annoying because nobody wants somebody in their life that they don't want. So you have to just look at it as like, yo, it's annoying to have you have, and that's another thing. Ooh, thank you, God. That is another thing. We have to keep it real with ourselves, and people, and we've never been able to. Some of us have never been able to get this confirmation or this validation of what I'm about to say, because when you have went to people to discuss this with them, they'll gaslight you and say that what's happening to you isn't happening to you, and what you're going through, those issues aren't existing. So you might not have ever been able to come to the conclusion that this is something that makes you mad. You can't come to the conclusion and keep it real with yourself and be like, yo, this is something that upsets me, if you don't think it's actually happening or not. You have to know that if something is actually happening or not, then you could have more strength and more confidence in assessing your situation, or trying to figure something out, or come up with a plan or a solution. You have to like, okay, this is real, but it's not a lot out there to confirm that. When somebody has a heart problem or a health issue, God forbid, they could be like, okay, that's real. I know now I need to eat healthy. I know now I need to get more sleep. I know now I need to go for a run, do a jog, some push-ups, a push-up, like the commercial said. I'm not sure how true that was, but they said if you do one push-up, stop heart disease, whatever. Do more than one push-up. Don't you listen to these commercials out here, especially today. And whatever push-up they showing on these commercials, I don't think you want to do it anyway. Just keeping it a buck. All right, buck up. You want to keep it real with yourself and be like, yo, this is something that's upsetting. It's upsetting to have people try to force themselves into your life. That way you'll be able to laugh at it, because you have to get past the point of the realization that this is something that makes me mad. You got to keep it real with yourself. So now that you've come to the realization that, yo, what they're doing is aggravating. I am experiencing this. People are doing things on purpose to try to get to me and bother me on purpose, trying to trigger me, and it's making me mad. Now you could better assess the situation. Now you could come up with a solution. Now you can see what the triggers are. You can see why you're triggered. But you have to have the validation. You got to validate yourself, and you got to tell yourself that this is happening. Or you have to come to this conclusion that I am a targeted individual. I'm not speaking anything negative on myself. I'm not speaking anything negatively into existence in my life. It's just that it is what it is. This is how people are. This is how people are interacting with me, and I'm experiencing this. I'm not seeing things. I'm not making this up in my head. I'm not speaking it into existence. I'm not making this happen. This is nothing that I'm doing. This is something that I'm experiencing, and I have to understand that when it is a frustrating experience to have to go through this. So you have to keep it real with yourself and be like, yo, this is something that no one would want to endure. This is something that nobody would want to have to go through. And I'm going through this and I'm still here. And that means that if I was strong enough to get through this day, I'm strong enough to get through the next day and any day. Think about some of the hardest days that you've had to get through, being the type of person that you are, believing in God, trusting in God, having faith, believing in the Lord, not retaliating to these people, because I know you wanted to put hands and feet on a lot of individuals. You wanted to throw something at them. You wanted to do something to them because they're doing something to you. And in a world where justice prevailed, we'd be able to take care of these situations how we would see fit. Because as righteous children of God, as chosen ones, we inherently know what's right and wrong. And on top of that, not only do we have the intuition and the discernment, we read the Bible. So we are learning. Whether you don't know, it's good to learn. So even though you feel that you know what's right or wrong, it's also good to know what's right or wrong. It's also good to know what God deems as correct or incorrect to how to live your life. All right, so you want to live your life correctly in the eyes of God. So you definitely want to understand that that what the Bible is telling you is not for it's for your betterment. It's for you to be able to deal with these types of situations, because you'll have some peaceful scriptures to go over. You'll have some scriptures that will give you validation. All right, because there's people in the Bible who went through what you went through already, and their stories will basically, like I'm telling you right now, help you stand the test of time, just like you could use your own story to help you stand the test of time. All right, so your story can help you, and some of the stories in the Bible can help you as well. But also, like I was saying, think to the time, just so I don't get sidetracked. Think to the time where you got through one of the hardest times that you ever got through. You prayed, you read your Bible. All right, you handled it. It was tough. It was a lot for you to take, but you got through it. It's not easy to have people continue to play games with you when you wish they would stop. And you know, as much as you wish they would stop, they're not going to stop. They're trying to make you feel defeated. They're trying to push you into some state of depression. They're trying to make you miserable, and they want you to give up on life. All right, they don't want you to care about yourself like you do. They don't want you to care about life like you do. There are a lot of people that don't like to see you have the life that you have, so they're going to attack you. And those attacks, they have to do them in a way to where other people can't pick up on them, and nobody can tell that they're doing it. All right, they have to be able to do it in a way that only you can tell, only you know it. It's between you and it's between them. And that's why it feels so personal, and it's frustrating time after time after time, because it's not like you can go, hey, look, they're doing this to me. Look, you over there, help me. Look what they're doing. Do you see them in broad daylight, what they're doing? And this person is just driving by. This person is just riding their bike by. This person is just walking their dog right by. People are going to perceive that as something that is wrong with you and not wrong with the other person. And that is something hard to deal with. It's nerve wracking. It's mind wrecking. All right. It causes you to feel alone, causes you to isolate yourself, because there's nobody that understands what you're going through. You can't talk to anyone about it. Um, it's hard to deal with, because when they do it, it just, since you can't talk to anyone about it, it pushes you to yourself, and you just stay to yourself because you're tired of being gaslit. It's frustrating to talk to people who don't get it or who don't understand it or who don't experience it or who don't think it's real. And to you, it's as real as the day is long. It's something that actually is happening. It's just something that you can't stop from happening. So the one thing you're going to have to do is realize that it's just a system, it's a matrix, and that will help you override it. Be like, okay, it's just a system. Once you label it as it's a system, that's going to bring you peace. But you have to constantly remind yourself that, be like, okay, it's a system, and in this system, this is how this system operates against people like me. We're living in a simulation, and this simulation has a system. And when you are chosen, and when you obey God, you're going to stick out in this simulation, and this simulation has ways that it goes about handling people that don't fall in line with the way that this system is set up. All right. And there are videos on that. There are people who get paid to stalk and harass other people to force them back into what they will call quote unquote reality. When you think outside of the box, when you don't want to live an average lifestyle, when you see yourself having more, when you see yourself doing more, people around you who are jealous and who don't want to see that come into full fruition, they'll try to box you back in. Like, you know how somebody's getting beat up in the ring, they want to box you into a corner, and that corner they want to box you back up into is that corner of disbelief, that corner of insanity, that corner of not being able to explain your artistry or your situation, or not being able to speak or preach or promote or spread a good message, or whatever it is you do. They don't want you to be able to do that, because what you represent is going to bring awareness, and it's going to bring too much change. All right, so you're going to change some things. You came here to stir some things up. You came here to turn some things right side up. You came here to turn some things on their head, and to bring some truth to certain things, to where people have not been able to speak up, or people have been ignored, or people have been looked down upon. All right, so God is using you for something greater. All right, so when God is using you for something greater, there are going to be people, there's going to be a certain amount of focus that you have, and the devil's going to pick up on that, and he's not going to want to see your goal happen, so they're going to have to try to distract you, because when you're walking around and you're more focused than the average person, they could pick up on that you're up to something, or that something that they need to be watching you or observing you for. And the only thing is that you're chosen, and you have a purpose, and God put you here for a reason. That's it. It's really nothing deeper than that. But because the system is demonic, that is basically, that's not how they want somebody to operate within this system. So since you're not operating within the system the way they want you to, they now have to try to wage war with you psychologically, box you back in, make you think you're crazy, cause you to think that you're experiencing things that you're not, even though you are. And they want you to think that they want to make you question your reality, so that way other people will discredit you and think that you don't live in reality. All right, so just because you're not a part, don't want to be a part of this matrix, and just because you're standing out, they want to box you back in, because they don't want other people to wake up and see that this is all a game. All right, it's just like the Truman Show. It's just like how when Truman was waking up, and everybody was in on it, and everybody was trying to stop him, and all those people were trying to force him back into basically living the same life that he was living on that island. They wanted to keep him stuck there. All right, I'll never forget. My teacher showed me that movie, and I know that maybe one. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna keep it real. I know nobody else in that class looked at that movie like how I did, because when I saw that movie, it was something that was always telling me to, watch that movie again, look that movie up again. And the more I watched that movie again and again and again, and the more I watched it, the more I watched it, I realized that that was me. And that you like the movie, The Truman Show, is about the chosen ones. And the reason why I knew it was about me is because, not saying the movie's about me, but knew the way I knew it was about a person like me, or I could relate to it, or that was a story similar to my life story, is because You have to pay close attention to that movie. It's got gaslighting in it. It's got narcissistic mirroring in it. It's got the street theater in it. All right. When Truman would walk out of his house, his neighbor would walk out of his house. Truman had yellow on. His neighbor had yellow on. Truman was high vibrational. He was a happy person. Chosen ones are high vibrational. They're going to stalk you just like they did in the Truman Show because they want that energy. They was trying to get energy from Truman, and he may not even have been aware of it. But it was something that wasn't right that was telling him to get off. It was something deep down within him that told him he was being gaslit. He noticed, and they even had the same cars passing by. That movie is about a targeted individual. I know there's other people who have talked about that before, but me seeing that movie and coming to the same conclusion myself and going through some of those things, I have the right to speak on it as well because I have experienced that. All right. So gang stalkers, they're going to let you know that they're watching you even when you're not paying attention to them. When you're out living your life, you don't even know. There are people watching you. You think you're just at the store paying for your little grocery item. They know what you bought. They know what you paid with. They know how much it was. Like, and I'm not trying to paint a bad picture or sound paranoid or make anyone paranoid, but I'm just saying, just so you know, just so you know the level of awareness you need to have around these people because this is real. All right, people will watch you buy things and then they'll go consume the same thing and leave the trash somewhere for you to see it. Just so you know that they were watching you. And it's like this is how you know people are watching you. Like you'll go to your car and have lunch or something, and when you go out to your car, the trash from them will be right by your car. Or say this is even weirder. You'll go buy lunch, say you're about to go back to work, so you drive, you hop in your car, you go to lunch. The not fast food, don't eat no fast food, y'all, please don't eat no fast food. The healthy vegan smoothie spot is right down the street. You go to get your little healthy fast food smoothie so you can get your life right and stay healthy, and with some kale in it, because kale reduces stress, and that's going to reduce your stress, and eating that will definitely keep you calm having to endure situations like this. So say you go to get your little smoothie, you go back to work. Before you could get back to your parking spot, that it'll be some trash from another smoothie with the same thing that you bought with the receipt attached to it for the same price right there where you about to park. Or when you get out of work, the person will leave the trash by your car to let you know that they had the same thing as you and they were watching you. They'll do either one because they're either going to watch you to the point to where they predict your movements and they know where you're going to go and they try to harass you that way, or they're going to watch you and then do it afterwards just to let you know that they were still watching you as well. And this is when you stop paying attention to people. They do petty things like this because they want you to pay more attention to them. So if you notice things like this, don't get scared, don't get worried, and don't get annoyed. It's because you're getting stronger and you're paying less attention to them and they're losing. So the fact that they're losing and you're paying less attention to them is starting to get to them and it's eating them up. So now they're leaving little clues. They're leaving little this here, little that there, leaving little footprints and little this to try to get in your head because they really are thinking about you and you're not even worried about them anymore. They could put themselves in front of you and you don't even care anymore. They can do their little street theater and you won't even care anymore. They have to do that street theater stuff so much. They got to drive before they just drive past. They got to drive back and forth. They got to honk the horn and do all this stuff. And it still doesn't work. It still has no effect. It still doesn't work. It's a lot of, it's levels to this. And once you overcome certain levels to this, the stuff that bothered you in the past, it's not going to bother you anymore. So because the devil's mind, the idle mind is the devil's workshop, their mind is going to, what can I do next? What can I use now? What can I come up with this time? So this is why it's good to pray, because you're going to be praying against their devices and their traps and their plots and their schemes and their snares, because the devil is constantly devising wicked plans against us, and they're always constantly trying to find new ways to get in our mind to try to cause us some type of stress or to be distracted, because they know we have a plan that we have to carry out. If we were able to carry out our plan in peace, we would get too much work done. We would get too much work done. It would be too much focus. All right. And chosen ones and God's children would be doing too much out here, and we would be getting things done at light speed. So they have to get in the way and distract to try to slow us down. All right, they want to slow you down, and they don't want you to be able to move as fast as you would or make as much progress as you would. This is why when some people at certain jobs see you get to a certain level and they start to see you advance, they see you get a say you go to work and your clothes were bummy. Now you go to work and you got new clothes. They're not going to want you to come back because they're like, oh, he's using this job to advance his life. He's not just throwing his money away every weekend like the rest of us. And this will be people who already have things, already got a home, a house, a car. They're just working to pay the rest of it off because they're not good with their money. They were good enough with their money to get that house, and then they just said forget it. They were good enough to get this and that, and they just said forget it. Or however they got it, maybe they got a loan from the bank, whatever it is. But I mean, to be working that much and to have money and be miserable, something got to be going on. Something got to be wrong. To be that uptight, it's got to be something off. Even if they don't like you, they should be a little bit more calmer. All right, if they'd had money, they'd be a little bit more calmer. All right, so it's something that they, and that's just work. All right, that's just one thing that may happen at work. People may not want to see you get your life together. People can tell when you're smart enough to do something with your life, or they know when you are doing something with your life. All right, they'll watch your social media. Say you got a little sneaker business. Say you're working a job and you're buying shoes at little retail spots to go flip shoes. Now they'll tell that retail shop, don't sell him those shoes. Don't put those shoes out, or they'll just fire you because they saw that, oh, he's trying to get rich selling shoes and he's using our money to do it. That's what they'll. These are the conversations that these people have with each other in offices. He's using our money, boss. He's trying to get rich at this off of this job and leave the rest of us behind working here while he takes his money from his paycheck and goes and gets rich, boss. You don't let him do that, boss. We're still going to be working here. We don't have any plan to get rich, boss. He just got here, and he's already doing good already, boss. You don't let that happen. Next thing you know, we're gonna have to let you go, or they won't even tell you. You'll just get a call. That's why you have to know that you're great, and you have to start becoming great and working on things and doing things that make you great, because you can become so great that it doesn't matter what happens around you, because you become God in your life. That's basically what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be becoming God in your life. You're not supposed to need anyone for anything. You're not supposed to have to go to somebody else for money. You're not supposed to have to go to somebody else to get employed. You're supposed to be employing yourself, becoming self-sufficient, creating things for yourself. All right, if you want to go on vacation, if you want to buy some land and to where nobody can come to you within a certain amount of feet, or you got so much land to where it feels like you got your own town, you could do that because you have the money to do that. And that's where, and that is why they're trying to stop you, because they know that you have the power to start something different, to create something new. They know they could get that. They feel the energy. They know spiritually that you're trying to do something different, and that you're not trying to be a part of this system. They know that to be a fact. They know that you don't want to be a part of this system, and they know that you're working to create your own thing, so that way you could be less and less and less a part of this. Whether it's a business, whether it's a hair salon, whether it's a barber shop, whether it's a nail salon, you're creating something yourself to where you can separate yourself from evil, so that way you can have more peace, and that way you can do more of what God needs you to do. And the devil sees that, and he's going to use people around you to try to make that difficult. So when you're really focused on that and you don't pay attention to people, they're going to try to do little things to try to get in your head to let you know you're being watched. All right. When you're not paying attention to them because you got all these things that you're focused on, they're going to be like, yo, this person's not paying attention to us. What can we do to try to distract them and get their focus on something else? People are going to be doing all types of weird things. They're going to be putting themselves certain places so you have to see them because they know what time you do things. They're going to try to psychologically let you know that you're being watched, or they're watching you by leaving certain things in certain places. And it's all warfare against your mind because it makes you feel uncomfortable. people are like, oh, who cares? It's just some trash. It's just this. It's just that, bruh. You don't understand that somebody was just I was just enjoying myself and having a good time and thinking that I'm living a normal life, but somebody was just watching me and they just basically saw everything I just did for the last little 40 minutes, hour that I was out, and they just left this here to just let me know that they did that. That makes a person feel uncomfortable, man. Nobody wants to go through those things, and having that happen over a period of time, and you don't see the person and you don't know who's doing it, and it's nothing you could do about it. It's something that you're going to have to just accept, and every time it happens, you're just going to have to allow your mind to callous over that, and you're just going to allow yourself to have to become that much stronger. And that's really all it is. Every time they do things to try to get in our mind and to try to cause us stress, it's just going to make us that much stronger. It's like somebody hitting the gym. Every time they come against us, it's like a workout. And that's how you have that's one way to view it. That's a positive way. Be like, okay, here go the dumbbells. And that's just the perfect name for them. Just call them dumbbells, because when you call them dumbbells, it's like, yo, what's a dumbbell? A dumbbell is something that's heavy. It's hard to lift. It puts pressure on your body. It puts pressure on your mind, trying to lift it, trying to pick it up. All right, trying to deal with the weight. All right, and that's basically just like anything else. You're just trying to deal with the weight. You're trying to deal with the pressure of it. So what we have to do is we just have to mentally work this out. Just like when you go to the gym, we have to mentally work it out. We have to get through whatever they're trying to cause us, so we could just get back to having our peace or having a better day. All right, because when people are focused on you to the point where they're paying attention to the things you're doing, they're watching you up close, it can have an effect on how you live your life and your quality of life. And that's what they're trying to stop. They want to come into your life to destroy your quality of life. They don't want you to have quality of life. They feel that your life is already good enough, and the fact that you want to separate and do something different and you want to get away from them, and they're the ones that feel that they have power over you and control you. This is why if you're in a lower state, you may have been stuck in that state for a while. If it seems like no matter how hard you try, you can't just get ahead or move forward. All right, there may be forces that are watching your progress that are actually trying to stop you, because they know that you have the potential to do something great. So it's like they don't want you to work at that job. They don't want you to stay employed. They don't want you to be able to save your money to where you could get to a point to where your life is improved or better, because it's going to kill them when you better yourself and you start to make improvements. People really, really enjoy you when you're down. You underestimate that. That's why it seems like people who don't like you, I know this person doesn't like me, why are they smiling in my face? Number one, because they're jealous of you and they wish they could be you. But number two, people are more happy to see you doing worse than you want to do, or they're happy to see you doing worse than them. So when you're doing worse than them, and if they have the power to keep you there, they're not, it's something spiritual. They're not going to want to see you grow. They're not going to want to see you get money. They're not going to want to see those changes happen in your life. They're not going to want to see you get a car. Because they'd rather see you walk. Seeing you walk or seeing you catch the bus, it makes them feel better about themselves, because you're a queen to them. All right, if somebody is a queen and you're not, and you have the power over them to make that person's life harder or what it shouldn't be, you think somebody's going to give that power up if they're already not on the good foot, if they're already not a good person? No. A person who doesn't understand, a person who is power hungry and who doesn't have self-esteem and who doesn't understand how to live their life, and that doesn't understand that they can be successful too, or great too, or they could change their life for the better, they're going to take advantage of a person. And a lot of managers will take advantage of you. They'll be paying somebody more. They'll be giving other people more money. They'll give other people more hours. They'll give you just enough to keep coming back so you don't quit and go find something else, but just enough to keep you stuck and needing them so you won't be able to get anywhere or improve. And then they'll be talking about you behind your back. They'll be saying bad things about you, knowing that you're trying your best. They'll be trying to put you down and make you feel bad, knowing that you're trying your best and you're doing the best with all you have, because they're not even offering you enough to get anywhere. And even still, you're able to do something with that and put some money up to the side. So when you do that and you cause these people all these injuries and you bruise their ego because you're doing things that they never imagined that you could do, all right, you're making them feel stupid and dumb because they didn't think you could do anything with what they gave you, but then you prove them wrong. It's like, yo, we didn't think they'd be able to do anything with that, and they are. They are able to save some money with that. They are able to move forward and get ahead with that. They are able to do something with that business. They are able to get themselves up off the ground. They are able to turn that into something. People aren't going to like that, and they're going to do whatever they can in their power to keep you stuck. All right. So, and that's why people will do things. That's why people will be watching you too, because they're watching to see if what they're doing is having an effect on you. If it's making you quit, if it's making you stop, if it's slowing you down, they want to know. It's like an experiment. They're like, okay, we can keep doing this, or oh, okay, we can keep doing that. So don't let these things get to you. Don't let don't let people bother you. It's overwhelming at times. It's difficult to have to keep dealing with this, but your mind is strong enough, and you just have to keep finding that strength. And you have to always remember that you got through it already. If you've been dealing with this for a couple days already, if you've been dealing with this for a few years, what's another day? And the only reason that it's bothering you is because you've already been enduring it for so much. So just keep enduring it, keep fighting it, and you can find strength in Christ. You can find strength in God. And if you're feeling weak, if you're feeling down, always turn to Him, because you'll always be able to rise to the top and overcome your situation. All right. It definitely is going to take God to get through this and to get around this, because we're working with a lot of high level demonic activity. All right. Because we have a real close connection to God. They're going to have to try to stop us with a lot of demonic activity. That's why so much demonic activity and spiritual warfare coming your way. It's because you believe in God, and the fact that you're not letting anything stop you. They're going to have to try to go as hard as they possibly can. And when you stop paying attention to that, and what they're doing starts to become everyday life for you, it's just like a bird flying by, or it's just like their stalking doesn't feel like stalking anymore, or their harassment doesn't feel like harassment anymore. Then they have to start being petty. They have to try to do things to wage war on your mind even more. And like I said, it may, the first couple times you're just going to be like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to allow this to bother me. I'm not going to allow this to affect me. But after a while of them doing it, it bothers you and it gets to you, because it's like, yeah, I just want my peace. Why is this person, why, like, you start to wonder, because and this is how they get in your head, because you ignore it at first, then you start to wonder. It's like, yo, why is this person watching me? Why is this person concerned about me? You start to want to know why. And then because you can't change it, and it's something that you wish would stop, then you fall victim of allowing it to get in your head and bother you. All right. So just because it's something that won't stop, just because it's something that they're trying to do to get into your head, doesn't mean you have to let it get in your head. And it doesn't mean you have to allow these weapons to be used against you to be able to stop you. All right. They don't have the power to stop you. They're annoying. They're going to try to keep doing what they're doing until you give them a reaction. But as we all know, don't give these people any reaction, and keep working towards being great, because you don't want to give them a reaction, because they're trying to stop you from entering the kingdom. They're trying to stop you from building the kingdom for yourself and your life. They're trying to stop you from reaching God's kingdom. They don't want you to have the kingdom. They don't want you to get to the kingdom. They don't want you to make it to a better place in your life. They don't want you to make it to that place into your life to where everything is good for you and you don't have any problems and you're not worried about them. You've overcame them. You could go wherever you want. You could handle them however you want. You could go on your big yard or your big property and get away from them. And I think they know. I think that's why what the stalking does is, like, it forces you to want to get away from them and to not want to be around them, and it forces us to want more and to want to have more, because it's like, yo, I know that I'm going to need a whole plot of land. I know I'm going to need a whole large space, and that's going to cost money. So it's like, That's why being wealthy and being rich is good, because you can do what you want with your life. Anything that is uncomfortable in life, you can use money to change that. You can make your life better by working harder to change things in your life that you don't like. All right. And that's why they're trying to stop you from becoming successful, because they don't want you to have that power or that control over your life, because that means you're going to be able to X them out. They're not going to be as important to you. They're pretty much going to become non existent with all the things that you're focused on: your business, your income, your vacations, your new car, your new home. It's like they're going to be like, you're not going to care. Are you going to, and on top of that, you're going to have more time to be closer to God, and you're going to have more things to thank God for. So when you keep your mind busy, when you stay focused, when you use your gifts, you use your talents, you improve your life. So you have things to thank God for, and also you improve your spiritual life. So you have more gratitude, and you're closer to God to begin with. They're not going to be able to uh, intercept and try to sneak their way into your reality or force themselves into your mind. All right. People are bored. People don't have anything to do. When your life looks exciting and you have something to do, that piques people's interest, and it draws people into your life. And then on top of that, when you have people who are trying to stop you because what you're doing would hurt the system, or it wouldn't be productive for their system, then this system has to operate in a way to try to shut you down, and to try to make you crawl back in your hole, or crawl back into bed and pull the covers up on you, and not try to be successful, because you becoming successful means some type of change. All right, it means some type of power shift. It means them having to see you live a life that a person like you shouldn't be able to live. It means you obtaining some type of success that is going to make them feel sick inside, because they already feel sick inside when they have to see you already. But adding a amount of success on top of that, that's godlike and kingdom like, is going to turn them into stone. All right, it's going to turn them into stone. So keep that in mind. You have a lot to do. All right, as far as your life, right? You're going to do a lot. You're going to do a lot of great things. You're on the right path, and they don't want to see you through, so that way you can make it to the life that you want, to where you create your own reality, to where you have enough money that you want, you have all the cars that you want, you have the home that you want. All right, and your life is just one big dream for you. They don't want you to reach that reality, because they feel that's too much power for someone like you, because they're going to be weak. You're going to be able to control some things. All right, you're now going to be able to control the dynamic more than you would if you were to stay stuck in the same place. It's war. All right, it's war. So when you have enough money to where you could distance yourself from these people, or you built yourself up to where now you don't have to see these people every day, or you could stay inside all day if you want to, or you could stay inside for a week if you want to, and then you can move out. Basically, just move, not staying inside for a whole week. But y'all get what I'm saying. You have enough money now to be able to move how you want to move. All right, and when things are happening to you like this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to improve your life to the point to where you can move how you want to move, because you're going to want to be able to put so much space between you and other people. They can't watch what you're doing. They can't see what you're up to every day. They can't peek into your home. All right, we're talking about just everyday people. There's still probably people with systems or cameras or satellites or whatever they got going on, that they could watch whoever they want, but that's so far out of your mind that you don't even worry about it or focus on it. All right. That's why stuff like that, average people really don't care about. But when it's up close and personal, and you have people doing, playing games and purposely doing things to make you question your reality, and trying to get in your head, and trying to get your attention and focus on them to distract you from the good things that you're doing to make your life better. They want to distract you from those things, because once you become successful, it's going to get you away from them. You're going to not want to be around them, because you have the ability to not be around them. If you had the right to get up and go somewhere else, you would. So that's why people want to keep you stuck, because they want to keep you around as a plaything. They want to keep you around as a toy, and they want to keep that power over you that they already have, that they feel they have. They want to keep you up underneath them, so that way they could keep playing games with you and keep destroying you and keep watching you. because it's something that they love to do. It's something that they enjoy because they're sick and they know that you don't like it. And they know it's something that it makes them feel powerful to do something that they know a person doesn't like when that person is better than them, especially when it's something spiritual. And the reason why you're better than them is because God. They have to try to make you they have to try to make you a disreputable, discreditable person. They don't want people to listen to you. They don't want people to believe you. They don't want people to take what you're saying for value or to see any truth in it. They want people to think that you're just someone that just runs their mouth, that doesn't say anything that means anything. All right. Or they don't want people to trust what you have to say, or they don't want people to support your business. All right. They don't want people to come shop at your store or whatever it is, because they know that you're going to take that money and they're not going to have access to you anymore once you become successful. This is why people will try to disrupt you and distract you and be petty when you're not paying attention to them anymore. All right. You're not even paying attention to them anymore, and they're still watching you because they know that you're making progress. They know that you're leveling up. They know that what they're doing is having no effect. So now what they have to do is be petty. They have to try to be more creative and up the ante and try to do more things to try to stop you and hold you back like they did before, because all they want to do is get to you like they did before. But because you're raising yourself up to a new level, now they have to raise the ante and they have to switch up their warfare tactics. And that's all it is. They switched up their warfare tactics because you're leveling up and you're about to create what it is that you were put here to do. And you're taking all your attention away from them and you're putting it where it belongs. And now that they see that, they have to be even more petty and they have to switch up what they're doing to try to bring you back to that same place where you were before, but it's going to fail. It's not going to happen. You can see through that as well. So they're just going to have to keep trying, and you're just going to keep leveling up, and you're just going to keep changing, and you're just going to keep defeating them, and they're just going to have to keep trying to find different ways to wage war on you. But no matter what, no weapons formed against you are going to prosper. They're going to form, but they won't prosper. Right. So you have nothing to worry about. They're tiring themselves out. They're wearing themselves out, trying to get to you, trying to get in your head and trying to destroy your plans for your future. But all that's not going to happen. They're going to fail. They're not going to succeed. They're not going to become successful with that. The only person that's going to be successful is you. All right. You watching this video right now. So hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. This has been another Druuill special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. All right, everybody, keep your head up. Stay mentally tough and mentally strong, because you're going to get through this. And all you have to do is know that if you got through it yesterday and you're still here, then God will get you through the next day as well. All right, thank you for watching this video. Peace.